and everything. And I know he's anticipating getting a roof on that next year. So he's like I said the other day, Good morning, welcome to Embroidery Club.
Allison, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Of course, we want to excuse Chris. She is with her family today, so we can't think of a better place for her to be, but I can't think of a better place for me to be than with my girlfriend family.
Exactly, and this is such a fun thing to do too. I love doing Embroidery Club every month. It's just part of my month, and I just really enjoy it, so it's great. And thank you guys.
Know I love a good mystery. I love a good mystery, and this
it's coming
so
together.
Fun. Yes.
I mean, we're only on block 2.
I know, but we've already done 4 blocks.
Yes.
4 blocks already, and we do another. So it is just so fun. So we are so excited to have you, and tell us what we're doing, Sandra.
Well, today we are doing, obviously, the one for February, and it's this cute snail and an amazing little mushroom.
I know. 2 of my favorite things.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see how this is all going to come together. I'm just so excited about it. So it's really great. Yeah. And they're fun. They're simple little blocks, but yet they have so much character to them.
Right. Yeah. Well, we do have a couple of things to tell you before we get started.
Okay.
There is a coupon code.
There is.
All right. So if you shop today in the pop-up shop, the Kimberbell pop-up shop, then the coupon code is
Embroidery Club 15.
Embroidery Club 15. So just be sure, because you may need to pick up just a few little things.
Yeah.
You know, always need to pick up a few little things.
Even last night as I was pulling all of this together, and I'm going, oh gosh, I need some more of that, or some more of this.
I always need some more.
Always.
Yeah.
So it's always been a great thing. So yeah. So make sure that you use that coupon code. It is good until midnight tonight, and it gives you a 15% off of all of your embroidery needs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a really fun way to get started. I cannot wait to get started, because we are doing small blocks today. They're 4x4 blocks. But you're going to show us a little trick.
Yeah, we're going to put both of these blocks in a 6x10 hoop.
Oh,
you know, it's really awesome that Kimberbell gives us options, okay,
Right.
that to use. Now, normally you would go with a 4x4. Because of the background quilting, you'd have to go to a 5x7. But if you wanted to, and you have a 6x10 hoop, you can cut both of them in the same hoop and get them done just like that.
Well, let's do it.
Let's go for it. So, first of all, let's take a look at our instructions here and what do we need to bring into the design, okay? So, I am so impressed with the background quilting designs on this quilt. I looked at this one and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that mushroom on there. Oh my gosh, look at that little snail on there. I was like, oh, I was just so excited just about the background quilting design.
And you get your background quilting designs with your embroidery cloth.
All of
Can you
them.
believe them? All of them. In fact,
All of
I
them.
used last month's because it was so cute with the bee and the flower. I used it to actually quilt a table runner that I
gosh.
put on my table because it was just to die for.
It is. I just think they're just adorable, and I just think they're so awesome. So anyway, the first thing you'll need to do to bring in some of the designs, you will need the 4x4 design in the Spring 6, okay? That's the one for the mushroom. And then the one for the snail is the 4x4 in the Spring 7. So you'll need to pull those out of your background quilting designs. And then obviously you just go to the other designs because there's just the two of them, the mushroom and the snail, okay? So you'll need to get into your kit. And first of all, this amazing little embellishment kit
I store my blocks in it.
yeah, the little plastic thing is just great. And I did notice, I would see some chatter out there about, you know, it's all crinkled up and it's all folded up. How do I get it so that it will stand up straight? And I think if you just, if you needed it to do that, get your blow dryer out, heat it up a little bit, maybe put a little piece of cardboard or something into the bottom of it that would make it so that it could stand up like this.
I stuffed just a hand towel in mine and threw it in the dryer for a few minutes.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So it did clink a little bit, but no worse than when you throw your sneakers in there.
Yeah, or a
so,
sweatshirt
Yep. And
that has
so
a zipper
I just
in it.
and watch it. I mean, you got to stand there and watch it. You don't want it melting in your dryer. But like I said, I just put a little damp a hand towel, so it was a little bit.
Oh, that's
put
a
it in there,
great
and then I
idea.
threw it in the dryer.
That's a great idea. Yeah, or just take your blow dryer to it for just a couple minutes, and I think it would be just great. But that would how you'd make it to stand up. Anyway, this embellishment kit, there are a couple of things out of the embellishment kit for this month that you will need. Okay, the first thing is you're going to need some flexi foam because they do give you a piece of flexi foam in your embellishment kit. The other thing is some embroidery topping. Now the thing that you'll notice, there's a piece of that in your kit. It just looks like a piece of white plastic. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Just a piece of white flat plastic. And then for the snail, there is one that comes in, and it's actually marked. This one's actually marked, and it says February. So you'll pull this out of there, and that's the one that you'll need for the snail.
And we were just talking about how cool that jelly vinyl is.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
I am just like, I'm really loving it. I'm just like, this is really awesome stuff. They have it in one of the other event kits that I just was recently doing, and I kept telling everybody, don't lose this, don't lose it.
Yeah, it's not for sale.
But yeah, because you have to go back to the regular vinyl because we cannot get jelly vinyl yet. So eventually we're hoping that Kimberbell comes out with it. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
So anyway, so you'll need that. And again, another piece of flexi foam for your snail. So those are the few things that you're going to need out of your embellishment kit. So you can get those out, get those ready, and you're ready to go. Okay, so you're going to need, again, we're going to put this in a 6x10 hoop. And
if you don't have a 6x10 hoop, I did all four of mine in a 5x7 and just, did it over and over again. But when you said, I brought this into a 6x10 hoop, I'm like, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. I shouldn't have been in such a big hurry to get mine done over the weekend.
Yeah, so it worked out great. So we're gonna pull both of them up in a 6x10 hoop. So, Allison, let's take a look at our machine here for a minute.
All right.
Okay.
So if we can, we're stitching on the Altair 2. And so we're just going to look at the screen just a little bit. And what we've done is we have pulled all 4 of the designs into our screen right now.
Right. I've just put just today's designs on one USB.
Right.
Okay. Just so that it kind of simplifies it for me, and it makes it easier so that I don't get things mixed up.
Right.
So that's basically kind of what I like to do is I put that month that I'm working on one USB, so then that way I don't get them mixed up with all of those other designs.
Right.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to pull the mushroom in first. So on my screen right here, I have a 4x4, and it's the one with the mushrooms and the snail. So I want to pull in my background quilting design first.
So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to touch that.
I'm going to bring that in and hit set.
Okay.
Okay, then you're going to go down to add.
Perfect.
And then you're going to go up and back into your USB and then into the mushroom.
Right.
Okay, and obviously this is going to bring everything into the center of your hoop.
Right.
Okay, so I myself, Allison, like to see where my hoop is.
Okay.
So that's probably not a 5x7. You see that little square around my mushroom there? I think
This
that
one
looks
right
like a 5x7. I don't think that's a 6x10.
It is
So
not.
go up into our little settings
and
bring in our 6x10 hoop.
Show me how.
Okay, we're going to go in and we're going to go to our settings right here.
Okay.
Right here it says frame size. Okay, and we're going to bring that up to a 6x10.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to hit OK.
Okay.
And look where my square is now.
Oh, yep. Now you can see your big square all the way around.
Now the thing that if we do this right now, it's going to bring we need to move that.
Right.
Because our next design that we're going to bring in is going to, again, come in the center, and it's going to come in right over the top of this.
Right.
Okay, so I need you to take that, and there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either go into Edit up here, and you go to Move.
Right.
And then this gives you your arrows, and you can move it up or down. Now, as you can see, it's moving just your mushroom.
Right.
Okay, so the thing that I would do is the first thing I do, I'm going to click on the background quilting.
And you just do that by touching it.
Correct. Now move it.
All right, perfect.
And move it down.
Right there.
Yeah, that looks good.
Now I'm going to touch the mushroom.
Now you touch your mushroom and move it, and you're going to just center it.
Okay, now you have to be careful on these DDEs, these embroidery, because if it's the flowers, they tell you move those all the way down to the bottom, but not the mushroom.
No.
You're just going to center
that
it.
one I just want in the center of my design. Okay. So how's that look for you?
You know what? I think I'm going to go down just a little bit more on that mushroom, and then that looks pretty good.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it looks great.
Okay.
Then you hit OK. All right, now you're going to go back in and you're going to add the next one.
Right.
Okay, so back into your USB, and then again the background quilting design.
Now you have to do 2 of the mushrooms or 2 of the snail. So you really could just add 2 mushrooms and do it all at the same time. But for the sake of time, we're going to add a snail.
Right.
Because you've already done it.
I've already done the other one, so I only need 1 of each of the other ones. So yes, exactly right, Allison. That's a great point to make, because I could have just duplicated that and done the mushrooms, and then I could have color sorted it.
Right.
And that's a whole nother story on that one. But anyway, you could color sort it, and then you could do them both mushrooms at the same time.
Right.
But because we've already done 1 of each of the other ones, we're going to do 1 of each.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to set this.
Set that.
Now I'm going to add. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to find my snail. I'm going to add him. Oh.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, I'm a jumbled mess. All right. So what I want to do is I just want to actually move this. And so I'm going to edit. I'm going to move. I'm going to move it up. Now, you can just take your stylus or your finger and just move it with your finger
yes, you can.
if you don't want. So I'm going to go all the way up. Well, not that far up. I want to stay within my boundaries there. And then I'm going to move my snail. And we're centering our snail, right?
Yep,
Okay.
we are.
I think I'll go up one more, maybe two, and I'm gonna hit okay.
All right. How's that
Okay.
look for you?
Well, it looks pretty good to me. How about for you?
I think so too.
Okay.
And then let's embroider.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right, so that looks great. So, are there any questions? If you've got any questions, you definitely could rewatch this later, and it would help you so that you could do this. But you could do this with any designs.
Yes.
All of your designs, that's for
It
sure.
saves time, it saves stabilizer, it saves sanity. I mean, just a lot of different things that
Yeah.
if you can use that bigger hoop, and so you can add your designs. But
Yep.
but really, that's a great tip, and I didn't even think about it when I was doing it at home. So
Yeah, I was like, I know that these should be able to fit in a 6x10 hoop.
Right.
So, and they did. So there you guys go. That's just a little tip there on what you can do on that one. Okay, I've got my light mesh cutaway set for in my 6x10 hoop. So I think we're ready to go that way. I'm
Okay.
going to give you that. Okay. And I have my, so we're gonna, now because we brought the mushroom in first, that's the first thing it's gonna stitch out.
Right.
Okay, so it's gonna do the background quilting and then the mushroom. So that's another thing you have to remember. If I were to bring my mushroom in first and then my background quilting design, it would do the mushroom first.
Right.
And I'm like, no, 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 that's not the way I wanna do it. I wanna do it in the proper order.
Right,
So I
right.
want the background quilting. Marianne, thank you. She said that all 4 of them will fit in a 9.5 by 9.5.
Right.
Now, if you have that capability, go for it. Go
Right.
for it. But because a lot of people, their maximum hoop size might only be a 6x10.
Or a
5x7.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these embroidery only machines are only a 5x7. So that's the nice thing that Kimberbell has done, is it's made it so that we can do it in any size hoop we have,
Right.
which is awesome. And if maybe you only have a 4x4, you could do it that way, but you would need to bring your background quilting designs in instead of a block by block as a clear blue tile.
So it does not give you that edge.
And that's a whole nother story too. So anyway, if you need any assistance on that, please reach out to Girlfriends, because we'd be happy to help
Right.
you to know how
And
to
Liz
do
asked
any
a question, is there any way to save the background design and the applique so that you can move it as one? Absolutely there is, but it depends on your machine and what style you have. And so there's a lot of different ways to do it. We'd be happy to answer any questions. I mean, reach out. The best way to reach out is in an email. If you call, Brenda and Elisa are all-knowing, but maybe not all-knowing. And so the best way is if you send an email with these questions,
Yes.
then they can get it to the proper person and we can answer those questions for you.
Yes, yes. So anyway, I have got everything all ready to go here. I've got my background fabric. I've already put my fusible backing on it. So that one's ready to go. Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Sandra pulled an oopsie and left her phone on. Sorry, guys. We've been told, turn those off, turn those off. Guess what?
Here comes Abby.
So anyway, I've got my background fabric already with fusible backing on it. It's
Yep.
ready to go. I've got my piece of project batting. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, that just totally went out of my brain. Project batting, it's ready to go. I have my stem, it's ready. I've got my top of my mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a piece of flexi foam, and I've got my piece of topping. Now we'll talk a little bit about this topping and what it is used for and why we use it. Okay,
Yes.
so
Because it's kind of magic.
it is. It's awesome. It's great. Okay, first thing first. The first thing it's going to do is a placement line for our.
Now, for the sake of you seeing, we changed it to a bright green, girlfriend green thread so
Yes.
that you can see. Normally, I wouldn't do my placement line with this bright green, but we want you to be able to see what we're doing. So I am stitching my placement line for my project batting on my stabilizer.
See, we have a cardboard here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to just hand this to you, Allison, and that is the project batting.
I don't take my project batting down because it sticks really pretty good.
It actually does.
Yeah.
I agree. If your project batting is a little warped from being folded or whatever the case may be, then yeah, you would need to, but ours isn't. Ours lays pretty flat, so we're good to go.
Yeah. All right, we are gonna go twice around to hold that project batting down. Really great. I really appreciate that Kimberbell does the twice around. There are some other designs out there that just goes once, and it seems like I always cut it and then it pulls away just a little bit.
So Denise, I'm kind of glad that you brought that up, because I'll tell you what happened to me when I did this one. The background fabric on this little mushroom, I was looking at it, and I'm with you. I was a little confused exactly which background fabric to use, because there's a couple of different ones that you could use. And guess what? My first one I stitched out, I used the darker pink instead of this lighter peachy orange color. And last night, as I'm looking at it, and then I'm looking at the material page that tells you all of the materials that you're going to need, I got to looking at it, I'm going, oh my gosh, I used the wrong one.
Now, that's not life or death.
No, it wasn't. I totally agree. But I'm like, okay, I'm on screen. I got to fix this.
Right.
So I actually stitched this block out a second time. So now I have two of different colors. But would it matter?
Probably not.
No, because it was just as cute with the darker pink as it is with this lighter pink.
Right. But if you are worried about it, you can go to Maywood. You can put in the number. It brings it up.
Great. That's a great option, because all I have is the same as what you have, is the material instructions, and it has a number. And sometimes those pictures, when you print them out, they're not as clear as what you would like them to be. I have to admit that. And there's this little tiny square that I'm looking at. And so it's a little confusing. So yeah, there's a lot of options that you can do.
Right. When I did my mushroom, I, for the life of me in my fabric kit, could not find the little teeny tiny red and white dot. So I just grabbed a piece of red fabric. I threw it on there. It looks absolutely fine. So,
That's exactly right.
Remember, this is your quilt. Maybe you don't like red mushrooms, and so you want a green mushroom. By all means, yours. So.
Yeah. But the one in the kit is the lighter pink that you would use, and
right.
it's all fine.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's going to do a placement line for our background fabric.
All right, so now she just trimmed that around with the line. So if this is your first time, just know that the reason that we take and trim away that project batting is so that it doesn't get in your seam lines and make for a bulky seam.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another experience I had. One of the girls out at the warehouse was doing one of the mini quilts. Mm-hmm. And she brought me a picture of it, and she said, Sandra, what have I done wrong here? She says, it matches here, it matches here, and it matches here, but it doesn't come together right in the center. And I'm looking at it, and of course it's hard to tell with a picture. I didn't have the actual project right there in my hand, but I was looking at it and I'm going, okay, so when you did this, did you trim your batting? And she goes, I didn't. I said, do you have batting in your seam right here in the middle? She goes, this is so bulky. It's so bulky right here. And I said, did you trim your batting? And she said, oh, am I supposed to trim my batting? And I said, yes, you are. And she said, I didn't trim my batting. So the bulk of that made it really difficult for her to match that center seam on that mini quilt, and she couldn't get it to match. It matched everywhere else, but that very center seam was just so bulky. I said, there's your problem right there. So that's why it's important for you to trim that batting so that that isn't in your seam to make it that bulky. Okay, so Allison, I need you to change your thread.
Perfect.
Let's change it to the cream color because we're going to do some background quilting right now.
Okay. Now we talked a little bit and we're like, you know what? That cream color is really pretty and we're going to do it the cream color, but wouldn't it be pretty if you, do we want cream or do we
That's
want
right here.
white? Oh,
Right there.
whoa. I'm like, where did it go? But wouldn't it be pretty if you wanted to put a different color on there?
What if you put, you know,
like a peachy
color? That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Do what you want.
Yeah, do it. Like I said, again, it's your quilt. You can do whatever you want. But I thought I would love for that background quilt design to stand out just a little bit more.
Okay, now I noticed that you are having me do the background quilting before we trim. Is that so that it doesn't pull out the seams?
It is. When you do background quilting designs, they have a tendency to pull your fabric in a little bit. And so when this is all said and done, we want to trim it to 4.5 by 4.5. And so in order for that to be that way, we got to make sure that after it's quilted, we get the 4.5.
All right.
If we were to trim it now, we might not get a 4.5
because
inch.
it might pull it just a little.
Ever so
tiny bit.
slightly.
Yep.
And that ever so slightly could make a difference to making sure that your corners match or
I was
whatever.
working on a Dear Jane quilt, and I remember that the instructor that was telling us said, think of when you're doing 4.5-inch blocks, which is what a Dear Jane is a 4x4.
Okay.
If you were off 1/8 of an inch all the way across times 1/8 of an inch by 20, how much would your quilt be off?
Oh.
And so that was like you know, you might think, 1/8 of an inch doesn't matter. And sometimes on piecing your quilts, it doesn't matter because you can stretch and pull just a little bit. But times that by 6 even,
Yeah,
and you're off
exactly.
a whole inch.
I agree. Peachy color for the quilt. I totally agree, Sherry. I think it's Sherry. Anyway, I totally agree. I think that the peachy color would be really pretty
Right.
for the background quilting
I
design.
think so too. Yep. But for the sake of all the rule followers out there, which
Yeah.
sometimes I'm a rule follower, I'm a convenient rule follower is what I
Exactly.
say. If it's convenient, I follow all the rules, but if it's not. But for the sake of all you rule followers, we're following the rules today.
Yep.
We don't want to throw anyone into anxiety first
No.
thing on Tuesday morning.
No, I don't want somebody coming back and say, well, it says in the instructions you're supposed to use this color. It does, and so that's what we're using. So.
Okay.
And what is really great is the fact that we have a nice thread kit that we
Yes.
got. So this works out really well.
Yes.
Okay, placement line now.
Okay.
Now we're going to stitch out our mushroom.
Okay.
So the first thing it's going to do is our placement line for our mushroom fabric.
Yep. The nice part about using this nice
Oh,
cream
excuse
color
me,
is
our
for
flexi foam first.
is the placement line. It's just a nice color.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, now I do like a little bit of tape when I put this flexi foam on.
Okay, you got it. So why don't you want to bring it over here or you want to do
no,
it?
let's do it over there. Normally I just do it right on my machine, but for the sake of the camera, I just want just a little bit, only because I feel like that flexi foam pulls just a little bit when we're putting that on.
It does, I agree. And so let's put just a little bit of tape right there. And a little piece of tape right
You know,
there.
it was Jackie that taught me, don't be scared to use your tape.
Oh.
You know, it's amazing stuff.
Yeah,
So just use it.
I agree. And the thing is anytime you, I honestly believe that anytime you have a project like this, especially a big one, a roll of Kimberbell tape is worth it.
Right.
Plus the fact I believe that when you purchased this kit, all of it together, it came with a roll of Kimberbell tape.
On this one, I don't think it did.
It didn't?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. Normally you're used to events, and normally in
yeah,
your
yeah.
events they throw one in there, but on this one I don't think there was.
Oh, Kathy says she's using gray for her background quilting,
Oh,
and
how
I
pretty.
think that would be
Yeah,
really
that'd be
great
beautiful.
too.
All right.
Post your pictures, guys. I'd love to see it. All right, now we're just going to trim this flexi foam. Allison, did you get yourself a pair of these scissors?
I did. I absolutely love them. These.
I am really, really liking mine.
Yep. I have to tell you, I use these right here more than I use anything.
Your snips?
Yes.
The little
Just love
flex
those.
snips.
Yes.
When I'm trimming like flexi foam and the fabrics and stuff, I really like using these curved. All right, there you go.
Okay, our next.
Now it's going to do the stem. Now this threw me a little bit. I thought, oh, it's going to put the fabric down next. Nope.
No, I know, me too.
Nope.
You really have to watch your instructions. So.
It's going to do the stem first. So now it's going to do.
Peggy says she likes to use that tape to label her fabrics, and that's a great idea because it comes
I-
right off.
I do too. Whenever I'm cutting out a quilt and they've got a number, you know, A, B, C, D or whatever, or if it's just even a certain name, I will take a piece of Kimberbell tape and put it on there.
I like to mostly, for my paper cuts and everything else, tape my fingers up. All right, Linda, you ask if you can still get the fabric kit. Unfortunately, no. Our fabric kits have all sold out, and we are having a hard time getting some of the fabric, and so we are not offering the fabric kit any longer. One of those, oh, when we put something up, be sure to get it on the first go around, because you never know. You never know.
Well, and I do know that what the one thing that we've had the issue with is getting a couple of the pieces of the fabric
Right.
that are in the kit. So,
Yep.
And that's from Maywood.
Yep.
So we're still using just a color thread that none of this is going to show.
Yep.
So we're good to go here. So we're still just using a basic.
The nice part about this, though, is if you didn't get in on the fabric kit, a lot of these fabrics you just have in your stash. I know I have them in my stash. And then a lot of them are just colors you could pick up. So don't not join us.
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible English, but please join us regardless of if you have the fabric kit or not, because we talked a lot. Sandra, you were just saying that you didn't buy the fabric kit, you just had a lot of this from other events and from other
Projects.
that you have.
Because a lot of these are just smaller pieces that you need.
Yep.
And you don't need a lot of it. So
I guarantee you there's not going to be a single soul that walks in your house, looks at your finished quilt and says, I don't think you used the right fabric on the top of that mushroom.
I don't think.
No one will know it, and you might not.
And if they do,
Kick them out.
Exactly. Okay, now I need you to change the thread to, oh, no, leave it this one.
Yep.
This is still the cream colored, so
Yep.
we're good to go.
Yep, we're
Okay,
just going to put a
now what it's going to
cream-colored
do
satin
is our satin stitch around our stem.
stitch. It all makes sense when you get further along because you're like, oh, we want that cap to sit over the top of our stem. So.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they make it work. I know Kimberbell does a great thing that way. So.
Yep.
Well, Lisa, I'm glad you're here. She says she's joined a little bit late, but we're glad you're here.
Nice thing about a replay, you can always go back and watch what you missed.
Exactly. So again, any of your embroidery needs for throughout the day today, you can purchase at Girlfriends, and if you use the coupon code Embroidery Club 15, you will get a 15% off.
Yes, perfect.
So.
All right, well, Sandra, I am not really one to watch a lot of TV. I don't like to watch a ton of TV, but I did watch The Voice last night.
Oh, did you?
Yes, because I really like the singing on there. Wow, they have some incredible talent.
Oh, they do, don't they?
Yep, you were busy getting ready, and I was kicked up binding a quilt with my feet
see,
up.
there you go. She's binding that quilt by hand.
UFOs, yep. I was binding by hand. Actually, it was the table runner, not the full quilt. So, yes, I did. So, yeah, we have a busy week this week.
Oh,
Lots
it is
of fun
busy.
things going on.
There is a lot going on. I mean, 3 Things Live all week this week. We're talking about our Stitch Your Story.
Yep.
So please join us for that. This month's theme is on freedom.
Yep.
And please watch yesterday and today and tomorrow, because again, like we say, that when you say the word freedom, there's a lot of aspects to it.
Right.
And we're bringing a few different ones
Yes.
your direction. So please take a look at that. So that's always fun. Again, we've got Embroidery Club today. And then on Friday, we have the Kimberbell event of Stitch and Rewind.
Right. Now, it's a little late to get your kit for this week's Stitch and Rewind, but we have another one coming up in March.
We have another one coming up in March, so if you're even interested in that at all, take a look at our website. Or take a look at Kimberbell. I think they have a few little videos out there for it. It's a fun event of the 80s.
Yes. You know, I think that our age group, we either grew up in the 80s or reminisce of the 80s, but the 80s was a fun decade because it was such bright colors and music and movies. We've had this conversation before that I think the 80s has the best movies ever. Oh.
What we're going to do now is just change our thread out to red because we're going to start on the top of our mushroom.
Right. All right. One of the things that I really love about this is the little teeny tiny details that Kimberbell included. So we just actually put just a detail line on that stem to make it stand out just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was so cute. So.
And we did that in black.
Yep. All right.
Well, thank you, Sybil. She says that Kyle and I had a wonderful Freedom Stitcher stories.
Yeah, it really touched my heart, Sandra. So for those that maybe didn't watch, we talked a lot about the freedom that an empty nest gives you. Times of life, you know, and sometimes I think that we are not patient enough for those times in our life and we don't enjoy living in the moment because it comes for most of us.
Yeah, I agree. So. Well, Patty, I'm looking forward to it. Friday, it's going to be a fun day for you. Just be prepared. Fern and I have lots of fun things going for you, so it'll be fun.
The hairdos are my favorite. So
yeah.
Okay, so
all right, you got that?
Yep, we just went ahead and added that. So now we're going to put the top of our mushroom cap, and I'm going to ask you to borrow just a couple of pieces of tape again. Just because when you go over the top of this flexi foam, I just like to tape just a corner here and a corner here to pull that really taut. I struggle when I go over that flexi foam that I don't want.
It sometimes puckers, doesn't it?
Yep, I do not want that. So I'm just gonna put a couple of little pieces of tape there just on those corners.
I totally understand. I agree with you on that one. Watch those fingers, Allison.
I know. So my husband is a little sneaky bugger. He loves to watch the embroidery machine go. But he sneaks, I swear he sneaks. He's like the noisiest guy in the whole USA at first thing in the morning. But when he comes in my sewing room, he scares me all the time, sneaks in. But I always have to be very careful where I have my fingers because he can.
I'm sure he's probably watching you.
He can sneak in because he likes to watch that.
That's funny. Good for him. It is. It's mesmerizing though at times, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to trim around that mushroom.
Terry Jo Miller Powell is asking how she gets this embroidery pattern. It's part of the Mystery Quilt Embroidery Club, and so you just need to go in. It's the February block on the Mystery Quilt. Now, what you do is you get these every single month for 12 months, and it will come together in a mystery quilt. But if you're just looking, if you just want this month's block, then by all means, you can get that on our website.
You can buy it.
Embroidery Club.
Right, you can purchase it just a month at a time. Mm-hmm. And I believe that at this point in the game, that's where you would need to do it, right, is a month at a time. You can't buy just all of the designs.
You can buy just all of the designs and you will get those. And the reason I would suggest that you buy all of the designs is because then you get that ladybug block extra.
Okay.
If you didn't get all the designs together and you missed out on that ladybug block, then you may have to just substitute another block in there.
Okay. So your best option again would be to purchase all of the designs, and you get an additional design of a ladybug. That is a free design when you purchase all the designs.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So either that or you can go month by month.
Yep. Yep, maybe you don't want to do the whole quilt, but you're like, I have got to have these now. I saw really cute on Friends of my girlfriends, I think, and maybe it was on Kimberbella's, but somebody had taken the designs and put them on tea towels and had planned to do that every single month.
Oh,
so,
what a great idea.
So, you know, just to brighten up her kitchen and to just, anytime you can use designs more than once. But I thought that was a really, really
That's a
cute
great idea.
You know, just to throw a snail and a mushroom on a tea towel and
yeah.
put it in your kitchen. And then last month she had put the flower design. So cute.
Yeah.
You guys are so creative. I mean, you know,
they
you
are.
inspire me every single day.
Oh my gosh, so
think,
much.
I know. I don't know how your brains work, but keep them coming because you know, you cause my brain to work just a little less.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is, Allison, is that it's kind of nice because I like to watch all of these people's different ideas, and then I put mine onto it. So I
Right.
am not going to be the first one to stitch out the design.
Right.
I'm not going to be that person.
Right.
I'm going to be the one that's going to look at everybody's and decide which way I want mine.
I know. Yeah. Don't you hate it when Embroidery Club, the first Tuesday of the month, falls on the first day of the month because you don't get to sneak like that. So,
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was really funny because I was actually talking to Fern actually last night, and I said to her, we were just talking about different family things, and I said, you know, I was a number 3 child.
Okay.
I had an older brother and an older sister, and I always watched the things that they did and said, yeah, that's not going to work for me.
You lucky girl. I was the oldest. I always had to pave the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, that's not going to work for me, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, now we're going to put
This
some
is the
top-
fun part.
It
Yes,
is.
I'm going to hand this to you so
Okay.
that you can show them under the camera, because this is where you're like, why topping?
So what happens here is you've got a red fabric, okay? And then they're going to put white dots on the top of our mushrooms, because mushrooms have those, don't they?
Yes. Well, I think. I've
don't
never
know.
seen a mushroom in the wild.
I-
I've seen the ones that grow in the lawn, but never
Yeah.
one you eat.
Yeah. So anyway, if I were just to go and put some white fill on there, more than likely a little bit of that red's going to show through.
Right.
And you don't really want that. You want your dots on the top of your mushroom to be white. So Kimberbell has telling us that we need to put this white topper over the top of our mushroom like this. Now again, it's just look like a piece of plastic, like one of those tablecloths that you would buy at the dollar store.
But thinner.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
much thinner.
don't be buying
Yeah.
white tablecloths to use
Yeah.
as topper. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
you need it.
You definitely need to do this. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to put that over the top of it. Then it will do our white little dots and do that fill stitch, and that prevents that red fabric from showing through.
I love white topper and I love black topper, especially
Yes.
in lettering. If you do black lettering, if you'll put a black topper down, it just makes it so much more rich and dense, and you can see it.
Right.
Yeah. It makes the difference.
It makes it pop a little bit more, doesn't it?
Right.
I totally agree. Okay.
All right, now that topping is slickery, so we put some tape on there because we don't want it, but I'm going to just go ahead and start this. I've changed my thread to white, and you will see that even if that stitch has a little bit of a gap in it, that white topping under there kind of covers that up and makes it so nice.
Makes definite line in it. So,
Yep.
and this will, when it's all said and done, because of the needle perforates it so much, this
it's
will
so
just
easy.
pull right off.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Denise is asking, can we buy the topper?
Now, you know, I have not seen it available on Kimberbell for a long time, and I was just telling you that I was glad that they included it in the embellishment kit because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
And so I am not sure your local quilt shop may have some available. I don't think that we carry it online. But one thing you can do is if you cannot find the topper, sometimes I like to go over this and then go over it again.
Right.
And sometimes that will make it a little bit denser if you're just using thread.
So Peggy says that is.
It is on the website?
It is on our website, so
Okay.
we might still have some.
Yes, yes, double check our website.
Yeah.
Maybe, Elisa, I know you're on, maybe you can just double check for us and put a link up there if we do have some. But like I said, I was just telling you before we even started that I didn't know if we still carried it because I haven't seen it for a while.
I do know that there are other brands out there that you can purchase.
Yep,
Girlfriends does not carry that. We just carry the.
the Kimberbell. Yep.
Oh, Peggy says she's not sure either there. So
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure whether or not we still have any. So take a look. But I do know that there are other brands.
But the embellishment kit is available.
Yeah,
And you can always purchase the available, and it comes in the
it comes in
embellishment.
the embellishment kit. So that's really nice.
Yep. Sybil says Floriani has a topper. So that's really, really great. I would really suggest, even if you didn't get in on the fabric kit, to get the embellishment kit because there are a few things, and in the Snail we're going to use that, we talked about that gel vinyl that you cannot get, but to have those embellishments right at your hand, it's well worth the money.
I totally agree. I would, if you're going to use your own fabrics or whatever and you just purchase the embellishment kit alone, it's definitely worth it. It had, like for last month, it had some buttons.
Yes.
And some little gems.
Yes.
That we're going to be putting
and
on
Heidi
it.
says, and I trust Heidi because she is an embroiderer. She's a master, really.
Oh,
but
yeah.
she says that she's heard that if you use a white tablecloth from the dollar store, that it would work. So, yep. But like I said, I have not had topper before, and sometimes I just do the stitch out once, back it up, do the stitch out again.
And that kind of helps bring it out a
Yep.
little bit too. So yeah, that's a great idea
Yeah,
also.
Kathy said the Kimberbell wash away topping.
But that's a different.
That's different. Kathy, we're looking for embroidery topping. I wonder if you could look that up for us. All right.
a white glitter sheet would be
perfect.
Denise.
Denise, see
I
you
like
guys.
that.
Their mind. Yeah, a white glitter sheet would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I think a white glitter sheet would be great.
Or the Kimberbell leather would also be perfect as
A
well.
piece of leather.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys are very, very industrial.
It's a great idea.
Industrious, not industrial. Oh, Lisa does like the idea of a glitter. Yep.
I agree.
Yep. All right, we have one more little dot to stitch out, and then guess what? We're done.
Yeah, with the mushroom. That's it. As soon as that's done,
Yep.
we pull that topping off, our little mushroom's going to be done.
Yes.
And we're going to move on to, see how quick these are, Allison?
Yeah, I know. They're so fun.
I'm like, this has taken us all of about a half an hour at the most.
Yes. And that's with talk. So if you weren't doing the speaking and the instruction, I mean, you could get this done in 20 minutes, easy.
Oh, I
All
think
right,
so too.
this is the part that is so satisfying. Just pulling that off, and it just perforates and comes right off. And look how pretty your mushroom is.
Yeah, you
Yep.
would never even know.
Yep, absolutely fun.
Okay, now at this point, I believe we should be okay. But just in case, I'm going to take this piece right here and I'm going to pull it down and I'm going to tape it down. Because the edge of that might be just a little bit in the way of our other piece right there.
Okay.
I think it's fine, but I'm just going to be on the safe side.
And because we've already done one, I'm not going to change out my thread color. I'm going to just leave it white.
And it's basically going to do just the same thing. It's going to do a placement line for our batting.
Yep. The Snail is so cute. I loved the eyes on him.
I
mean,
know.
you know, and they are all embroidered.
They look
so
like
it's
little
so
googly
fun.
eyes,
Yep,
don't they?
They do. Alright, I'm gonna just place that down. Oh, Dawn says that she found the Kimberbell embroidery topping on our website, so I stand corrected. pick that up now. Oh, I got really close on that edge.
I just don't have to trim that one.
Ah, sorry.
It's okay. It's all good. That just is one less edge I have to trim,
I
right?
guess I'm a little spatially challenged this morning. I cannot tell a lie that sometimes I trim my project batting really small and put it on there so that I don't have to trim. I think I'm the only one ever that does that.
I doubt it. I kind of doubt that. In fact, last night I was working on I believe this one or not, I'm getting all those UFOs done, Allison.
I am so proud of you.
I am. I did the February save the date. Now I'm not putting them on a pillow.
Okay.
I'm just making them in the 12.5-inch squares, and then I'm hanging them on that little
on the actual stand.
Yeah.
Oh, what
on
a
the
cute
stand.
idea.
Anyway, I was doing one of those last night. I was doing the little bluebird on it, and I got my, see, that is a little close.
Yes, yeah.
See how that came out? And I'm like, okay, it's a good thing I had that taped down, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's
I would probably trim it if it were me.
I probably might do that. Let's see what this does here. Anyway, I was putting the blue leather for the little bluebird, and I got it just a little bit close. I'm going,
Yeah.
So I had to take it out and use another piece of leather.
See, you do it right. I'm like, yeah, I'll live with it. All of you know me, and I am the self-proclaimed sloppy quilter, that I'm like, yeah, it's okay. No one else is going to see it. You know, I really don't have that many people come to visit, so I'm like...
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I did pull that back, right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I might just have to go in and trim it.
Yeah, it's not going to stay. I'm going to pull it out and hand it off to you, because I do not want that to catch. Nothing's worse than unpicking embroidery. Just trim that back just a little bit.
I could, you're right. Donna says I could tape it to the hoop, and that probably would keep it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah. Can try
So I'm
that.
going to give it a shot.
All right.
Put this on here, and I'm going to make sure that all of my, because I do make my
Yes.
fusible backing just a 1/2 inch larger than the finished size of my block.
Smaller, you mean?
Right.
Smaller. Yeah.
No, larger. A 1/2 inch larger than the finished
okay.
block.
You'll notice that down here on this bottom, I did not get it on for you, but I figured because it was within that 1/4 inch, I didn't
I think
redo
we're good.
it. So.
Yeah. The reason I do that is because in that way, it's in my seam. My fusible backing will be in my seam.
Right.
And it covers where I need it to go. But when I line it up on top of my project batting, I make sure that it's on that the same as the block.
Right.
So.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Change our thread back over to the cream. Allison, I love the way you trim your threads.
Oh, Lisa taught me that.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, if you just pull it up, you could mess with the tension.
Right.
On your machine. And on our baby locks, because you don't manually adjust the tension, it's all internal, you don't really want to. The other way you could do it is pull it around until you hear that little teeny tiny click. But I do trim from the top and pull through the bottom. All right, this one is the one that's so pretty that I used for background quilting. It has the little flowers and the bees, and it takes just a little bit longer. It's a 3-minute stitch out, so because there's a little detail on it.
Okay, so Terry's asking on this, or is it I think that was Terry, about filler blocks. I do not believe there are filler blocks on this quilt.
But we don't know.
But you're right, I don't know.
It's a mystery, so
Yeah.
we don't know. I have not seen the entire
You'd have
quilt.
to ask Chris.
There are a few shop owners that went to market in Houston that were able to view this through a viewfinder, so they didn't even get a really great look at it.
Right.
But we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So you're right, on the cup of cheer and some of the other, like I did the ladder quilt, the Halloween ladder quilt, okay? It had a couple of filler blocks, but I don't know if there is. She says she's not really fond of them, and I agree.
I don't like them either,
I'm
but
not
I
crazy
do like
about
the
'em.
finished product.
Yeah.
Product.
But you know what? I find that, especially like on the Halloween one, the filler blocks, and then you put the bats on them. I'm like, it fills it right in. It's
Right,
a
it's so
perfect
cute.
background for it. So sometimes filler blocks are.
I don't like to
great.
do them. I like the way they look. I also don't like to do borders. Borders are hard to me. I know how, I can do it, but you know, all that lining up and
I agree.
moving your stabilizer and everything, when it comes to borders,
They're
I'm
time
like,
consuming.
oh, okay, just suck it up and do it. Allison Hoth, you can do this. You are a big girl. So some of my UFOs are simply UFOs because I am lazy. Sorry.
Yeah. I was doing another UFO this last week, and the No Place Like Home pillow.
I have not done that one.
It's an event.
Yes.
And it's the one that Kimberbell started with as far as doing all of their pillows, and also as far as doing borders and flanges and things like that. And when the very first one that I did, I just thought, oh my gosh, this is genius. And it is. I totally think it's genius. But anyway, I had one that I'd done at an event, and I hadn't finished it all the way. And so I was finishing it up, and I was doing the borders and the flange, and I was like, oh my gosh, will this ever end? But I agree. I don't mind doing them, but they are time consuming.
Right.
And what I've done is I usually cut my stabilizer just a little bit bigger, and then I can shift it.
Right.
So that I don't waste so much stabilizer.
Right. All right, so I just stitched the snail body, the snail shell.
Okay. So you
placement
need
line.
a
So I
piece
need a piece of, and this is exactly the same steps.
Okay, here we go.
As the mushroom.
Here's some flexi foam for us.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really close to the same.
Yep.
And I thought, you know, we really, yeah, Heidi says you have to be in a good mindset to do it.
Right.
And Sherry, the same thing. She says, I love that home pillow, and I agree. I've done several of them because of the events and stuff, and every one of them, I'm just like, this is such an incredible project. I love it.
I do have it, and I should add that to my UFO list. Now, I did get Hopping Down the Bunny Trail in the mail yesterday. I was so excited. And that is the new Kimberbell pillow. Now, I'm going to call that a UFO because I bought it on pre-order.
There you go. That's the way you think, right?
The beautiful thing about those UFOs is I don't care if it's a new project or an old project. Go ahead and count it because, you know, it's still an unfinished object once it arrives at your house.
That's right. I have too many unfinished, not adding new ones to it. Or partially finished. That's the thing that I should say. I have a lot of those that are just like...
Peggy said she'd use her long arm, but it's worth the extra little teeny tiny details that Kimberbell adds into that, so she does it the right way.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is we are going to stitch out the placement line for this cute snail body.
Yep. This is going to be the base. Now, as you look at this, the first thing you're like is, well, it's green. but the body fabric is actually a cream color. It's
Now,
just
I
an
did this
off-white.
wrong because I did not follow the instructions. So I had to go through my stash and find a green fabric because I'm like, where is that green fabric? Read the directions, Allison, read the directions.
Yeah, it is a cream colored piece of fabric, just a really off-white. So that's the color that you're gonna put. You can see the snail background is gonna go from there to there. And so I'm just gonna put that right over the, just almost right over the top of that flexi foam.
Right.
Okay, and I'm gonna tape that down.
Just because it pulls a
It'll
little
just
and you don't
pucker
want
that,
it to
just a
pucker.
little bit there.
Yep.
I'm gonna take this one and move it over. There we go. But you use just that little piece of cream colored fabric, and then the green jelly vinyl goes over the top of it, and it gives it that nice finish.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, really, he is cute. I was probably, I'm trying to think how old I was, but I had never done this. My dad worked at a bank, and I remember we were on our way to Disneyland, and we stopped to pick him up. He had to work for a few hours, and his secretary came out, and it had just rained, and there were snails on the...
Oh, goodness.
On the... Do I dare tell this?
On the ground. No, go
She
right
brought
ahead.
a salt shaker out and salted the snail, and it shriveled up.
Oh, my gosh.
And just completely dissolved. I had never seen anything like that before, but that is
Wow.
one of my I mean, all that was left was his shell.
Oh, well, maybe
How
that.
horrible, huh?
Yeah, yeah, but maybe that's why they tell you that's what you do in your gardens and stuff to keep the slugs out of your
Yes.
flowers. Okay, I'm going to trim this now.
So Jerry has a good idea. She says she always does her borders first. She is one of those eat an elephant a bite at a time kind of gals. Do the borders first and everything else is really fun. Jerry, I'm gonna do that because I just get to the end and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to.
But the thing about it is that you're like, the anticipation of doing all the blocks is great.
Right.
I want to get them. I want to get them going and get them.
I think that is genius.
But I like the idea of doing the
And the
borders.
other thing I like is that is like the biggest chunk of your fabric, and so you cut that out first.
Okay, Allison, what I did in preparing all of this, these pieces that don't ask for any fusible backing on them, because the only thing that you're supposed to put fusible backing on is the background
Right.
piece, okay? So I took the other pieces and I sprayed them really good with some starch.
Okay.
Either the
Do like Material Magic or Magic Spray
right,
or Best
yeah,
Press?
yeah,
Okay.
a little bit more than Best Press.
I have a magic concoction.
Okay.
I love a third Material Magic, a third Best Press, a third water. It's magic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, I've trimmed that up. Now I am going to put my vinyl down. So
Okay.
we want our green
Perfect.
thread on. Okay. Now, just let me show you here. Steve's behind the camera today. So Steve, bring our camera down here. Okay, so it tells you to cut this, and pretty much cut it in half, okay? So that's what I did. I cut it in half, and then I took one piece of the vinyl, and I put it right on the edges there, and that's what I had left on the one piece, okay? Now I've got my second piece here, and I'm looking at it going, oh my goodness, I wonder if I can get, look at that, Allison.
Oh, magic.
That
You are
piece-
saving.
That piece that I had left from what it was supposed to, size it was supposed to be, I could actually get another snail out of it. What am I going to do with this piece here?
You never know.
That's exactly right.
You're going to put that in I have a clear glass, I call it my Notions junk canister, and I keep it on my thing, and every time I have extra glitter, extra cork, extra vinyl, I just throw it in there, those little tiny pieces, and it has saved my hide on more than one occasion, or I've used it in a project that I don't have to purchase a lot. So I really, really like that.
Yeah, I have these, I'm with you. I have these other little pieces that I've just kind of kept. I keep them in my, am I missing?
Well, you've got your eyes, and I was going to address that as soon as we get done with that. So,
Okay.
so you're not going to put the jelly over your eyes up there on the top.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because it doesn't really make a difference. You're just
Okay.
going to have to trim really careful around that eyepiece.
Oh, I actually had supposed to do the eyes first and then put the jelly vinyl on.
Yeah, but that's all right.
We're
okay.
good?
Yeah, we're
We're
okay.
good?
Yep, we're going to be fine because we have really great Kimberbell scissors, and you can trim really close.
Okay.
Just on that one eye.
I should have done the eyes first and then the jelly vinyl. So you
Yes.
guys, there you go.
Yes. You'll be good.
Dawn,
we're going to use our snips on this.
Dawn,
I'm going
you-
to hand those off to you.
Okay.
Because you will need those to trim really close to that.
Okay. Dawn, you're right. She says she likes to buy the extra embellishment kits when they're on sale because they can be used for many other projects. And you're so right on that one.
Yeah.
And Roxanne says she likes to use top loaders and binders to put the little extra bits in. I actually use my extra Kimberbell event kits, the envelope things that they bring, that they zipper pouches that they give you for them, and that's what I have all of my extra pieces of leather and vinyl and toppings of all sorts. I have a couple of those that I put all my little extra pieces
Isn't it
in.
fun how we just all kind of organize a little bit? Yeah, I just have a big cookie. It's like one of those clear cookie canisters, and I
Yeah.
just throw it all in there. It has a lid. All right, I love this jelly vinyl. It's so cool.
Heidi says that we need 3-inch padded green, girlfriend green binders.
Well, Heidi, we will work on that. In all transparency, we're not where the place we ordered them last time. We can no longer get them to.
Okay.
Get them from, and so so we would have to source those out again. So it's not that we ignore what you want. It's
Did
just
we need
that,
to trim that?
well, you will need to trim it. We should have waited to put we should have done the stitch around and then put them.
Oh, you're
and then
right.
put the vinyl on, but I think it's going to be fine, Sandra. Because I think it'll perforate really clean.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
Trust
I do.
me.
I do.
Yeah. So you know how that vinyl, when you do the satin stitch and you can pull it off really close, you're going to be fine.
Okay. I did put that down just a little
Yep.
too soon,
Yes.
didn't
so
I?
do what the
I'm-
instructions say, not that we do.
Yeah.
She wanted that vinyl down. So what you're going to do is the satin stitch first, then you're going to put
And
the
then
vinyl
the
on
vinyl down on it.
top. But I have to say that I kind of like to do it this way because if you put the vinyl on top, I feel like when you stitch 1/8 of an inch away from that stitch, sometimes you lose your satin stitch in it.
Yeah.
And this way you can trim right along that perforation and it comes up really clean and it looks nice. So we're
Okay.
going to be fine. If not, guess what? You
It's okay.
were very, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Frugal with your jelly vinyl, and you could redo your.
I can.
Redo your.
I can redo it if I don't like it,
yeah,
right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're asking again about the binders. So eventually, do you think we'll get some more?
I can't say
We don't
one way
know
or
for
the
sure.
other. It's one of those items we have to source out, and in order to get them at a really good cost, unfortunately, they come overseas, and so that's a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
That might
definitely,
be changing, huh?
yeah, definitely we will have Todd and Jackie look into that.
Okay. We will let everybody, the people that are in the know.
Okay, I'm going to pull this out and hand this to you because I think we want to trim that jelly vinyl and see if you can just tear it.
Okay. Yes, Denise, you're exactly right. That vinyl is supposed to be a raw edge applique.
Yep.
And I kind of jumped the gun. But we're going to make it work.
Yep.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I thought it would come up really nice.
So don't put your vinyl down until after you do that satin stitch.
Right. There's not a ton of crevices. I mean, it's pretty straight. So look how nice that looks.
Oh, I think we're good.
Yep. Everything is figure outable, is what Chris says, and she's exactly right. Once again, I don't think anyone's going to come into your home, see this on the wall, and tell you that you should have put that down first.
I don't think so either. And like I said, if they do,
do not serve them cookies.
that's right. They're not going to get a Pepsi from me.
This was the only part that I worried about. Just a little. Oh, look. It looks
I
really
think we're
nice.
great.
I think you're golden. I know we're watching in anticipation.
I was looking at the picture instead of reading the instructions, and we
I
just
know,
talked
I
about that this
know.
morning.
Yep. Marilyn loves the snail. She says he has personality. Yes, he does. It's those eyes. Okay.
You'd never know.
You will never know. Now we're going to hand that back, and we're going to put that little decorative outline on there.
Because you're exactly right. As I look at this one, I look at that one, you lose a little bit of that satin stitch by placing the vinyl on the top.
Right. So oftentimes I make the choice to do it this way just because I really like how that satin stitch looks.
And Jana, I learned that a long time ago, that there are no mistakes. They are creative experiences. So we're going to take a look at the difference on these two when
Yes.
we're all said and done.
Yes, we're going to see which one we like. Okay.
Cindy said she's trying her new machine.
Cindy Martinez got her radiance. Yay! Yay! Can I have those snips back?
Oh, you bet. Sorry.
I'm going to change our thread color to the darker brown because we are going to do our snail body.
We're going to do the body of our snail now.
Yep. Our snail shell. Cindy, that radiance is so fun. She and I have been in contact on Messenger because I have had mine for a little bit and she has been waiting, and so she just got it. Embroidery on the radiance takes a little bit longer because there is just a few updates that are coming the end of this month that you need, but it is such a quiet machine and it stitches out so nice.
Robin says, do you love the Altair too?
I do love the Altair too.
I do.
Yep.
This is a great little machine. You know, there's some options that are in your higher up machines that this one does not have. And
It's just like anything.
But it's not something that you're going to use all the time.
Nope.
So it works out great. But I have the Altair and I really like it. I like the Altair.
Yeah, that's what you sew on at home.
Uh-huh. Okay, so now I'll let you hand that to me.
Yep.
And we'll tape down this snail body.
The Altair 2 is what we sew on in classes here. It's what we sew on in the studio. It just really is a fantastic machine.
Yeah, I like it. It's a fun little machine to use.
Okay, we tape that down because it's going over the flexi foam. We don't want it to pucker.
Denise says she says she's only received one update on the Radiance so far.
Your dealer might have put the other ones on before it. Oh!
Did it pucker?
Yes. That pulled.
Are we gonna be okay? Or
yeah.
Because it's gonna do a satin stitch
Yes.
over that.
Yes.
Are we okay?
I think we're okay. I'll let you look at it. I'm going to hand it out and let you look at it.
Okay.
You tell if we need to come out, but I think because we do that satin stitch, I think we might be okay.
Okay. I think it'll be fine.
Yep. Yes, but
But
that is the reason that I really like to tape around flexi foam for that very reason.
Exactly. I should have taped it a little bit better. I'm not batting 1,000 here today, Allison.
Well, maybe it's me.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm your bad luck charm. Yeah. Kathleen says that she's learning her Altair too, and it's really a friendly machine. That's one thing I love about the Baby Lock, is that they are very user friendly.
Yep, I think that once this gets going and does all that satin stitch, it's just exactly what it should be.
Yep.
I think we'll be good.
Yep. Not every snail shell is perfect.
That's right. Okay, now they're going to do the outline and the swirl.
Yes.
And we're about there.
Yes. That in the eyes, and we are done for this month. So fun. All right. Besides pulling that wash away topping off, I love when you use the flexi foam and you do the, oh, yep, perfect. Just even that right out. So I love when you do the satin stitch and the details on the flexi foam, and it gives it that quilting look. I mean, you know, really gives it the dimension that you guys don't see on, you'll see it at home, but you don't see on there. So this little snail guy is so fun.
Oh, Sybil, you definitely do. You need to get that Altair out and sew on it. You'll love it.
Yes.
You'll get to the point where you really like it. They're very user friendly. They're great machines.
Yeah. All right, while we're waiting for this to stitch out, let's remind everybody that they have their Embroidery Club 15 coupon that will give them 15% off in the Kimberbell pop-up shop through midnight tonight.
Right.
We have a few fun events coming up.
Yes, we do. We have a couple. First of all, we have the Stitch and Rewind that will be, well, of course we're doing it this week, but you don't have time to get a kit, but we're also doing it on March the 7th. So that if that's something that you might be interested in, we'd love to have you. We are also doing the Easter Tier Tray event.
Yes.
The end of this month, Allison.
Just in time.
Yes.
Just in time to get your Easter
get all
decor
of your
out.
stuff for Easter taken care of, and oh my gosh, that is such an amazing event. It is a 2-day, but you make some absolutely incredible projects. I see Steve's got a picture of it here. If you just don't mind putting that up on the screen there for just a second. You make the cutest little bunnies and the egg, the lace, the freestanding lace egg is absolutely amazing.
And you get the tray.
Yes,
with
you do.
The kit. I mean, you know, it's so fun.
It is a great, you make these dimensional flowers out of felt, bunnies with some velveteen, a little bunny basket, and again, the lace egg, the freestanding lace egg is just absolutely amazing. So if you have not done that, if you're interested in it at all, please reach out to Girlfriends. It is on our website, and we're doing it on the 20th and the 21st of February. So that'll be a fun one.
Yes.
It's a great class. Yeah.
And those of you that got the hopping down the bunny trail, what a cute display.
Oh, for both together.
For both of those together. So yeah, they use the same colors, the same theme.
So thank you, Jeanette. She said that was the best class. And so thank you. It is. It's a great event, and the projects are amazing. So.
And I was going to say, if you want to join in Friday's class with your Stitch and Rewind, you can still sign up. You won't have your kit in time, but you could watch the class, and then when you get your kit, you can just go ahead and. So I mean, you know, don't let that put you off if you're like, I don't want to wait until March. By all means, watch the class. You get the replay, and then when you get your kit, you can stitch it out.
Yeah. And Lisa's asking, she hasn't signed up. Is it able to get your kit? You bet it is. We still have a couple of weeks, and as soon as we get the Actually, I think the kits are arriving this week sometime, so they aren't even being shipped out.
We haven't even got them to ship them.
Yeah, so I think later in the week, the first of next week. So we would love to have you join us, Lisa, because it is just an absolutely fun. Right now, he's got the Stitch and Rewind event up. And again, you make the cute little zipper pouch that looks like a cassette tape. You make a fun little strawberry, and then
It's the patches that you can
the
put
patches.
on bags and jackets. And
Yep, then you have your patches that you make out of that one, so it's really fun.
yeah, that's a fun one to do with your kids.
Yeah. So yeah, Sherry, you too, I would love to have you join us for the Easter Tier Tray event. Again, that's on the February 20th and the 21st, so
Yep.
take a look at our
Fun things
website.
coming up. Yes, if you go under new releases, there's a lot of events on there. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I kind of watch those, and I am amazed at the events that are coming up. I changed out our thread, and I am going to actually stop it because I put in a cream. So I'm going to change that to white, and
Oh.
we want him to have white eyes, so I will just stitch right over the top of that.
All right. I think we're doing great.
All right, so we don't want him to look like he has bloodshot tired eyes, so I'm gonna.
Not
We don't want him to look like us.
Not a lot like us around here, right?
Yep. This poor Snail. He has wrong-sided vinyl. He has, I mean,
Well-
it all worked out on his shell, but we thought he was going to have a wrinkled shell, and he has tired eyes. So
I think he's going to be very cute.
he's going to be very cute. Everything is figure-outable on this.
Yep.
So there we go.
Well,
much
Jeanette,
better.
I'm impressed. She said she's got all of her Stitch and Rewind projects done and a few of the extra pouches.
Wow.
Patches. Not pouches, patches. So yeah, it's a fun thing.
There we go.
Got
White
some
eyes.
White eyes now.
Don't want him to have jaundice there. It's all that salt we gave him.
Exactly. Put a little smiley face on him here in a minute.
Yeah, he's a cutie. Okay, we're good. All right, we are on our last thread, and we are going to trim him up.
Oh, okay, great. Donna, I'm glad to hear that. She said something about her vinyl on her that.
All right. Okay, you got to stop talk out loud. No laughing.
Sorry,
No laughing.
Sorry. Denise said something about, can you scroll back down there on that comment from Denise about the Wicked Witch? She said he would sound like the Wicked Witch of the Wizard of Oz. I'm melting, I'm melting.
Uh-oh, did she touch her? Did she touch her?
I think there was something, another
iron.
comment. Bring it down just a little bit more.
Oh, with the salt. Because I said the salt.
that's it,
yes.
the salt. That's
Yeah.
it, that's it.
Yep, no salt.
That's it, so yeah.
All right, we just need to trim his little eye.
He's a cousin to the snail in Sewing with My Gnome. You're right, Sybil, you're right.
Okay.
All right, how did he turn out?
I think he turned out pretty good for all of his little.
I think it looks great.
I think it looks great too. So, all right, we're just going to trim those up.
Well, I think he turned out just fine. But you see how we got both of them in the same hoop. Again, we just had to make sure that that one was out of the way so that it didn't get, because it definitely would have
Yes.
got caught. So we
Yes.
just have to make sure that that's moved out of the way. So let's take this. I'm going to just quickly cut my, I'm going to use different pair of scissors here. Just a pair of bigger ones are easier. There we go. Cut them apart.
So we can trim those to exactly 4.5 by 4.5.
And do we have an orange pop ruler
We
in
sure
that
do. Let me
drawer
grab
back
it.
there,
Yep.
Allison? And the reason that I like the orange pop rulers in this case, is there a rotating mat around here?
I'm not.
I don't see it.
No.
Okay. The reason I like to do the orange pop rulers in cases like this is because that flexi foam has a tendency to, if you're trying to use a regular ruler on these to cut these apart or to cut them out, that flexi foam has a tendency to make your ruler up just a little bit, and you don't get that fine cut. Okay.
Another trick, if you didn't have the orange pop rulers that Jackie taught me, is turn your hoop to the back, and then you get a flatter surface.
Okay.
I mean, turn
That's-
your project to the
yeah,
back. So,
I think that's a great idea. But
we have an orange pop ruler, so
Yes.
that's what we're going to use.
Yep. And the great thing about this too is that Kimberbell's, this placement line here that they do, the tack down line on the outside of your mushroom right there, and on the snail, the same thing, is exactly where you should be cutting.
Right.
So that's,
But always measure it.
oh yeah.
Always measure.
yeah.
Don't just.
And why do you do that? Because as that background quilting design might pull that in
Right.
ever so slightly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, while you are lining that up, Annette asked, what number cream did we use? It's called cream, it's glide, it's 20001.
Okay. I always like to start on the left,
Okay.
which is normally abnormal for somebody that is right-handed, okay? But the reason that you do that is because you want to put that pressure to the inside of the orange pop ruler. So I'm going to just kind of put that down like that. And again, just like that. And then if you're using, again, a rotating mat, which I highly recommend, you don't have to lift it or anything. And this gives you your nice, perfect cut.
Yep. All right, dun 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 dun.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay,
So
so there's our
cute.
mushroom.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with our little snail here. And then we're going to compare him. How's that,
Yeah,
Allison?
sounds great. Marilyn says she also trims her stabilizer to the stitch line to save the bolt. So,
Oh, that's a great idea.
not me, Marilyn. I just sew it right in there.
And there's our snail.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm just going to set him out here. And I'm going to set this one right next to it. And you tell me which
I can't
one.
tell a difference. All right, Steve's coming in close for us because, you know, just goes to show that everything is figure outable, and I can't even tell a difference on
No,
him.
I think he's great.
Yep. All right, perfect.
I think he looks great. So there you go.
What a
there
fun day.
Are the 4 blocks that you need for this month are the snail and the mushroom. You'll need 2 of each.
Yep.
And that's the way you're going to do it. Now, next month, let's just say we're going back to the garden.
Back to the garden.
That's all I'm going to
right.
say. We're going back to the garden.
All right, we're going to get our hands dirty next
So-
month. I am so happy that I got to fill in today. What a pleasant surprise.
thank you so much.
Sandra. So thank
Thanks
you
so
for
much
having
for
me.
joining us.
Thank you for joining us today, and have a really great Tuesday. Be sure to tune in at 1 o'clock Mountain Time for our 3 Things Live.
For Stitch Your Story. It's
Yep.
somebody else's freedom
Yep.
story that you're going to be able to
You
hear
won't wanna
today.
miss
So
it.
don't want to miss it. So we'll see you then. And we'll see you again and again. It will be on the same day, the first Tuesday of the month in March, which is actually the same as this one, which would be what, the 4th?
Yep.
March 4th. Don't you just love that day? March 4th.
Spring is coming.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you later.